Hey residents of Meepletown, today we are looking at the Taverns of Tiefenthal. We are going to be building up our taverns. We're going to be upgrading them and recruiting guests so that we can have the most profitable tavern in all of Tiefenthal.
Sounds good.
Let's get to the table and check it out. Alright, so here we have the setup for the game. We each have our own taverns, and they have lots of spaces on there, but we'll kind of get to that as we go through the game. What we really want to point your attention to are these rows right here. These are specialists that you're going to be using doubloons that you gain throughout the round. And so they have the cost up there in the top left-hand corner. These are the guests that we're going to try to get into our taverns, and their cost is in beer because we're going to woo them.
They want the beers.
By creating lots of beer in our taverns.
And we do also want to make mention that this is only the base game with no modules, to my chagrin. Dean and I had a thumb war before the game, before this video started, and he won. So we're just going to do the base game. We may do another video.
Very strong thongs. Yeah, we hope to do another video. At very least, we'll talk about the modules. Did you say
strong thongs? This is a family-friendly show.
Pretty sure I said thongs.
Okay, well, it just sounded funny. Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
So the first stage, the first thing that we do is we determine who the starting player is, which will be me.
Always Dean.
Then what we're going to do is we have a draw deck. We're going to be drawing cards out of our deck, placing them onto the table, and you're just going to place them wherever they go. You're not going to determine which cards you draw determines where they're going to go.
Oh my goodness. Come on.
You're going to stop drawing whenever you fill up your tables, and that's what this top row is. These tables are the guests that you're drawing in. They're going to be spending money. And so once you fill up those tables, then that ends that part of the round.
It does, and while he's straightening up his cards, I will make mention that this is the round tracker. And so for the first round, we get one of these tokens that will allow us to choose which side we want. And at some point in the game, I can spend it to, for example, if I didn't like the way this laid out, I can toss this away and redo that, which can be really powerful. Or I can use this fella who lets me go up this track, which these will unlock. These will unlock bonuses.
Correct.
All right.
All right, so now that we have our tables filled, the second thing we're going to do is the dice drafting phase. And so if we have a waitress, which both of us did get a waitress.
You got a waitress and a beer multiplier? Mm-hmm. You stacked your deck for the video.
I may have.
You did.
Well, the next time you'll get your beer multiplier, beer supplier, whatever that one is. All right, so the first thing we do is roll our colored one, which is the waitress.
I'm just doing all mine at the same time, baby.
John is a rule breaker. Your waitress one is just going to stay off to the side. You roll your white ones, and then you're going to be drafting. I take one from my coaster. John takes one from his, and then we swap the coasters up. And
okay, so let's see here.
And how we determine what we want, which dice we want, is each of these spaces has different dice. This beer supplier down here, you have to have a 1 or a 6 in these spots. So if you do that, then you'll get a beer. Now for me, I have a multiplier, so each of these will count 2 instead of 1.
And I saw him have that, so I took the 6 to make sure he didn't get a million beers this round.
I really appreciate it. That was very kind of you,
That's
John.
what I do. All right, so we're going to slide it over. And
then the top is where you're going to get doubloons. The guests also have dice that match up with whatever they have. So I'll take a 2. And now as you're taking these, you can put them on the spots, but they're not locked in there. You can make a choice of whether or not you want to move those around. All right. Let's see. Did you just take my dice?
Well, do you want the 4?
I already have a 4. I already took a 4.
Well, that's why I took it.
All right, so
stirring up controversy.
Put that there, and I'll take
right, so let's see here.
3 and put it here.
1, 2.
Now the next phase, what we're going to do is we're going to determine where these dice are going to go, and this can be a tricky.
All right.
Some tricky decisions that you're going to make in this. Oh man, unfortunately. Now these also say how many you can have on there. These can each only take 1. I have this extra one that I'm not quite sure.
Oh, you can't do anything with it.
What I can do with this die.
Wow. Yeah, there's nothing you can do with that. That's just a waste.
I guess.
Excellent. All right, let's move forward.
I guess it is. All right, thanks for your kind words there. All right,
congratulations.
All right, so I'm the first player, so I'll go ahead and take my actions. You're going to be gaining doubloons and beer, but you don't actually take like little cardboard tokens because you have to spend them in this round unless you're going to store them in your beer cellar or in your safe here.
And you don't have very much room at the beginning.
It's exactly. So I've got 2 for this one, 2 beer. This gives me 3 beer. And then I've also got 1 coin here, 2. So I've got 3 coins and 3 beers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this beer supplier. I can't remember which one.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
think
remember
so.
the
I think he
name.
looks pretty sweet.
All right, so that'll cost me 2, and I'll be able to keep 1 extra one. And when you purchase cards, guest or these specialists, they go directly on top of your deck, so they're going to be the first ones that you get for the next round. And then I will take this number 3 beer guy here. He also goes on top, and that's my turn.
That's it, huh? So I have 2 beer and I have 3 coins. So I cannot buy any of these or recruit any because I don't have enough beer. So I'm just going to put 2 in my cellar. Then I'm going to recognize I've got 3 coins. I am going to purchase. I'm going to keep 1 coin and purchase one of these beer fellas, as Dean did. And then lastly, I put my 5 on this guy, which allows me to go up 1 on this track, which doesn't give me any bonus right now. But that's it. Boom. 1 round over.
That's it. All right, so we take our dice, put them back over here. If you gained a die from the waitress, that also goes off to the side because you can't use that anymore for right now until she comes out later.
Oh.
Then you put all your cards in the discard pile, which I'll just put mine here. Now, there are cards that will allow you to, I'll put them up here. There are cards that allow you to gain more tables.
That looks better.
So you want to have the space to be able
Good
to do
choice.
that. Yeah.
Good choice up there.
Looks good.
All right, so let's move over to round number 2. And what is our bonus for round number 2, Dean?
Bonus for round number 2 is that we can either get the
3 guy.
the beer or the number 3 guest there.
Okay, I'm going to take a 3 guess because I did not get one last time. So
I think I will too because I did get one, but I would really like to be able to get some extra money this time to be able to purchase cards or maybe upgrade. All these different areas on your board can be upgraded as well for money.
So let's flip.
All right, you already moved that? Yep.
Yep, I know what my first 2
are.
are.
You're the first player. We didn't move that over.
You were going to try to keep it for the whole time.
These you'll do at the same time. So
Okay, so there is that. And the thing about the guests that is important is it's this tension because you don't want to have too many guests in your deck because they'll fill up your tables too quick. However, when you start off, you only can put dice on the number 1 and number 2 is all that's available. So it limits you. Like Dean got messed over last round because he had a 4 and couldn't do anything with it. I just pulled out a chair, which means I have more spaces for my guests.
That is actually a table.
A table. I know it is. With a chair, it looks like one giant chair, maybe.
I think we usually call them chairs.
Yeah, that's true. You're right about that. So you see that because I've got these guys that only give me 1 doubloon. And so anyways, that is it for me.
And now there are different places, especially with the modules, that you can thin out your deck by getting rid of some of those cards. But
yes,
none of those options have come out yet, so we're going to roll our dice.
Okay, let's see here. Was you rustling with the rule book over there, Dean?
I was looking.
I heard it. I heard the rustling.
I was looking at rules.
All right, so what do I want to do? Whoops, I just knocked that one over.
Oh boy, I don't know what to do either. I know that I would like to have money. Look at that. I need 3s, but there are no 3s
I
out
just
there
took the
except
only
the one
3.
that you just got. So, all right, I'll just take that, put it there. I now have these. And it could be, you might just have some rounds where you're just trying to store up some money and beer for later rounds. So that could very well be what my turn is all about.
Okay, that's fine. And then we both get a 4, so there you go.
That's right.
All right. And then now we're deciding where to put them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another thing about these cards up here is if you hadn't noticed, they're victory points in the top right-hand corner. So the only way to win the game is to score the most victory points in your deck. So those are choices to make as well.
And it's kind of interesting. All the victory points are in your deck of cards at the end of the game.
Yep. Okay, so my first thing I'm going to do is I have 3, 4, 5, 6 coins that I can spend. And you know what?
6.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have an extra from last round.
How about that?
How about that, sir? All right, I think I am going to actually grab another table.
All right.
And then I also have 2, because I had 2 beer from last time. 2, 3, 4, 5 beer. And I'm going to take... See, I could go here and get another card. Or I could get that. But this one's going to score me a little more victory points. And it opens up the 5 to give me more options with the 5. And I could get 5 doubloons if I roll a 5, which is a lot. So I'm going to take that one.
All right, and I don't know if we mentioned this or not, but you can buy as many of these with the balloons that you can afford that turn, but you can only recruit 1 guest per round. All right, so here's what I have on my board. I would really, really love to be able to get a lot of money this round. Unfortunately, there were no 3s that were rolled, so I was kind of forced to make sure that I can produce beer. So I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 beer. And so what I'm going to do is take this guest that immediately gives me a beer, I believe that's the distributor, beer supplier card is what that one, the immediate bonus is that, and then this card that I get
that one.
Also goes on my deck like that. There we go. And so that's all of the beer that I have, and I'm also going to move up 1 on the track. Nothing happens yet, but hopefully I'll be able to get some more bonuses as we go there, and that is the end of my turn.
I almost left my extra chair sitting out there. That would have been nice.
That's how you win.
That's what I do.
That's how you win.
All right. So the next round, we are going to get to choose whether we want one of these waitresses that are going to get us extra die or a dishwasher, right?
That's exactly right.
Seems like a pretty simple choice to me.
Yeah, that's a good choice to get that. Now, what's happened to me is I haven't gotten the dice that I've needed, so I'm actually going to take the dishwasher, so that hopefully that'll help me.
That last time the 4 could have been a 5.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Yeah. All right, so we ready to roll, huh?
We're ready to roll.
Just like that.
I'll be the first player.
You're not going to lose sight of that. All right.
All right, so then just start flipping. And this stage, oh, I left one up there too. This stage is actually kind of, it's really fun, the excitement that happens in this stage, because you don't know what's coming out. It's not a push your luck at all, but it's still exciting to see like what's going to come out onto the table. So I actually filled up completely. I thought I was going to get to reshuffle, but I did not.
All right, let's see here. Wow, all right. I got 2 dice coming.
Oh, wow, that's good.
All right. That's a good round for me. I got a lot out on the table. Cool.
All right, so that is the flipping one. John, you're going to get 2 of your...
I am. Look at that. I got all kinds of dice to roll this time. All right. Okie dokie.
Now we start drafting. Yeah, I know the decisions are pretty difficult. I would like to be able to get some money this time, so I think I'll...
and then I'm gonna go.
I think I'll take this
here. Okay.
All right. I was kind of hoping John would leave that 2 for me, but of course he did not.
That's what I do.
All right. So I'll take this. I guess I'll take this 3. I'll take this 4.
Okay. And I am gonna take. It doesn't matter for me whether I take the 3 or 4. I could look at Dean's and try to hose him, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to grab a 3.
All right, and
let's get 4s.
It leaves the 4 at the end, and that'll just give me one of those. Since I'm the first player, while John is thinking through what he's going to do, I do have a dishwasher that adds 1 pip to any of these. I don't know if that's really going to benefit me that much this round, just because I really just want to be able to get some money. So I'm going to get 3 from here, and that's going to be 4, plus I have 5, so I can use all those, and I think I will. I'll take a table. I'd really like to have that for next round. That uses all of that, and I have 2 beer to use, but I'm not going to spend those. I didn't flip that over. I'm not going to spend those, so I'm just going to store those in the cellar for now, and that's going to be my turn.
There you go. All right, so I have 5, 6, 7, 8 coins to be able to spend this round, which is quite nice. So with my 8 coins, I am going to... I like these multipliers here, but you know, I think with the base game, the chair strategy is a pretty no-brainer. So that's 7 coins. I'm going to keep yet another one because I only spent 7 instead of 8, but now I'm full here. These are going to go there. So all that was spent. I'm just going to move those so I don't forget. I also move 1 on this track, which then gets me another beer man. Beer me a dwarf. All right, and then I have none in my cellar, so I've got, this is count as 2, so 2. I have 3. I kind of hate having 3 because I don't really want to take that 3 there. But if I don't, then I'm going to be wasting a beer. I could prep myself for next round, but I think I'm going to take... It's a victory point. I don't know. We're not going to play through a whole game of this, so I don't...
This is literally the last round.
This is it. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got plenty of chairs, so I'm going to put them right there. All right.
All right, that's kind of the idea of how the game plays. Now, we just keep playing through 8 rounds of that, and then, like we said, whoever has the most points in their deck at the end of the game. One thing we did mention are the nobles. As you're upgrading your tavern or, crossing different spaces on the board, you'll get these nobles, and that's where the points are. Each one of these nobles is worth 10 points, and then as they go out into the seats, instead of putting out multiple nobles, they like to hang out at the same table, so you can actually put those on the same...
They sit in each other's laps.
Places. Yep, that's exactly
That's some
right.
strange nobles. Interesting.
All right, what'd you think of the art and components?
Loved them. The components are really cool because, as you can see here, the way that these pieces jigsaw together, which is nice. And we didn't mention also, which I could have done last round, or maybe I should have, you can upgrade your places here. And actually, now that I think in retrospect, I should have done an upgrade. But what they'll do is, for example, if I upgraded this dishwasher, I'd have a permanent dishwasher every single round, which is really, really nice.
That's right.
I could upgrade this, and it's going to get me 3 coins instead of 1 coin, which is, again, really, really nice. You also get a noble every time you do this. So it's 10 victory points. So I definitely should have upgraded when I had the points to upgrade last round, but I didn't. Anyway, so I love how these fit together. There's other modules that we haven't shown that, like, you flip this over and you can do the module on the other side. They have little like schnapps dancers and stuff that you put into the tavern. So it fits together so cool and really neat.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add other than the art in general. I really, really like the art in this game. As I do with the other games that the artist Lohausen has done. Yeah, that's exactly right. I really, really like it. And John mentioned how these pieces fit in there, but just even this guest that's sitting at the counter here, like, it just fits. It looks like it's supposed to be sitting there, and
she's kind of sitting on the bar there, buddy.
Oh, she is, isn't she? Yeah, that's right. But anyway, that's good for me. I love the art and components. Exactly.
Yeah, the art is awesome. I the more I see, Lohausen's just great.
Yep.
All right, fantastic.
How about the gameplay?
What are you smiling at me like that for?
You want me to talk about gameplay?
I don't care. You just were smiling at me like something.
I like the gameplay.
Excellent. Astute, as I like to say, observation, Dean.
I really like the different mechanisms that come together in this game. I really enjoy deck building. I enjoy dice drafting. So I had a hunch that I might like this game just because of those two things. I didn't realize how much I would really enjoy that. You mentioned the component aspect of how the upgrades happen, but the thought that goes into, you were struggling in your turn, do I buy a card? Do I upgrade my tavern? What's going to be the most beneficial thing? And you only have 8 rounds to do all of this, so it can be kind of a tight game in that sense. You can't do everything that you want to do, but how all the mechanisms fit together, I just think are a ton of fun.
For sure. And I mean, the deck building's cool, and you're basically kind of building an engine to a degree with your deck. Like, am I going to go heavy with the beer so I can pop out a bunch of beer? Am I going to go heavy with doubloons potentially to get a lot of, maybe do all your upgrades over the course of the game? Or you're going to kind of do a little bit of both. All of those are decisions that you're making in the game. I like deck building a lot. That's cool. Dice drafting is fun as well. I enjoy the gameplay as well, for sure. Now, with that being said, a couple negatives for me is with just the base game in particular, I feel like this game gets samey fairly quickly.
Yep.
I feel like there's like I mentioned earlier while I was playing, this chair strategy and beer strategy. I think there's a lot of just kind of simple strategies that help to win the game. And when you're just playing the base game. So if it was just for the base game, I would think it's a clever game, but it's not one that has staying power for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, I don't, we've played with all of the modules, and I think we like it with everything out there.
100%.
I think that's kind of the way for us that we want to play. But I'm not opposed to playing the base game without the modules. I still think it's a lot of fun, but like you said, stale. You're going to want to add more stuff to this. And I like how it does gradually work. Now, you can't just add in the 6th module. You need to, kind of work your way up to have the 1, 2, 3, or having 5 modules, I think is what it is. But you have to play with the ones that are before that. You can't just kind of mix and match what you want, which I think is fine, because eventually once you get to playing this game, if you want to play it a lot, you're just going to play with everything. Yeah.
Do you want to give them just a quick taste of what some of the modules do, just so they have an idea of it, just really quickly?
Yeah. So one module adds these tokens called schnapps, and John kind of mentioned.
Off camera.
That's right. So John kind of mentioned that you're going to take these entertainers, and they're I'm just going to flip this off here. So this board flips over, and each round a different thing comes out. So one of these different entertainers comes out. This one, for example, the first one says that if you spend 2 schnapps, you're going to get 3 beer to be able to spend for that round.
And you can continue to do that as much as you want.
That's right. Or if you spend 1 schnapps, that will count as 2 doubloons. Now, once you set that entertainer in your tavern, you have to stick with whatever that action is. And different ones will come out. I think that's a lot of fun. There is one that will...
Yeah, I was trying to flip this over for you.
See you flipping over this little space on here, and you have these white tokens, and these trackers will go around, and you're going to be, if you go around all the way, you get a noble, but you'll be getting different things. Now what happens with that is, if you produce 2 beer and 3 doubloons, you take whatever that lower number is, so that in this case a 2, and then you would move up 2 spaces on there. In this case, if I did that, then I would then collect a schnapps.
I like that, because that can prevent, like if you decided I'm going to go heavy doubloons and upgrade everything and get a bunch of nobles that way, this is going to make you second guess that.
Sure.
Potentially, because you wouldn't get to go up that track very much.
Yep. There's another one that gives you a card, and we'll show you the picture of the card on the screen, but that card will let you put out letters as you recruit guests. Now this helps you focus more on the guests, which I think is an important part.
Yeah.
But if you focus more on these guests, as you draft them into your deck, it'll have a little signature on there that goes on your board, and as you are filling that up, you're going to get different bonuses as you go along.
Yep.
And there's another one where, I'm not doing these in order, I'm just trying to give you a taste of them. There's another one that it's very simple. You just take a card, you put 3 cards out on the table, and everyone picks which one they want, and that's what your starting cards are going to be. So that changes up your cards. Now you can all pick the same card, which is fine.
Sure.
You're not drafting those cards, but I think that's kind of neat. Just changes up the flavor of the game as well.
Yeah, for
Helps
sure.
you to pick your strategy.
I think 100% that adding all the modules, and I say this too, that I don't believe that when you add all the modules, I was first kind of like, man, 5 modules, this might get really complex. It really doesn't, because the modules, I mean, they're not adding a ton of complexity, a little bit. Like, I mean, again, you're going to get schnapps instead, and so now you can buy things with schnapps.
Right.
You know, the other one, you're going to go up another track here. So it's not like, again, overwhelming. In fact, I played this with my wife, and the very first time she played it, besides the picking your cards at the beginning, because she didn't know what was good or bad, so I took that module out, but I put every other module out. And honestly, she had no problem picking it up and played well and had a really good time doing it.
Yeah, I like that you can do that, because if you have somebody who's played a lot of games like your wife, it's easy to throw everything in there, but you don't have to.
Yep.
And so I just think that's a nice little touch on there.
I wish more games, and there are definitely games that do this, but I like the model of having a simplified version of it that you can add modules to it to increase the complexity.
Correct.
So you can play. I like that, because I'm a big board game. I like strategy games, but I also like getting people involved.
Yeah.
And so this gives you the perfect opportunity to play a base game that's not overly complex with people who may not have played a lot of games. So that's a big thumbs up.
Yep.
For me as well. I will say, though, a couple things also that I didn't love about the game, and that is these cards basically stay the same. I mean, we're going to add one different card if we're going to add another module, but you're going to always be getting the beer guys, the dishwashers, the waitresses, the chairs. These stay the same. Your guests here, they're going to have like different bonuses on them, but overall, I mean, it's still pretty samey. You're getting these to get more doubloons, and you may get another card, but you're going to get a card that's already on the table. I say that because even with all the modules, the more I play, the first time I played it with all the modules, I was jacked up. Like, I was like, yes. And as I've played it more and more, I have a little bit of a samey feel to it. Like, I wish that there were different types of cards that maybe came out over the course of the rounds. You may have different ones that come out, or you just have different ways to add the cards. Like, maybe for this game, these cards aren't involved. And then you do something else, and these are actually input, so that it changes it and makes it different. And then on the same note, like these things, unless you flip the board over because you're adding schnapps. But all these bonuses are the same every single time. All these are the same every single time. So, you know what I mean? So, because of that, it's a little samey to me.
I get that. And I don't really agree. I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, of course, I would love to have more variability in that. I think, what you're saying, I think would be absolutely cool if you had different cards that come out every time or different bonuses or whatever. But for me, I think with the modules added in, it changes your strategy in a way that you really do have to think about, is it going to be beneficial for me to go get a table this time, or is it more beneficial for me to upgrade my tavern? So I think for me, I'm okay with the decisions that come from the modules, even if you don't have as much variability here. Now, if there's an expansion that adds that, of course, I'd love to have that, but I'm okay with the way it is right now.
All right, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. For me, I absolutely love this game. I'm not going to do a split rating of what I would rate it on based on just the base game versus the modules. I'm just going to give my overall score with everything added in, my favorite way to play this game. For me, it's an 8.5. I love this game, and I had an idea that I might, just based on the different mechanisms, like I mentioned earlier. But I just think it's interesting. I do think the base game is fun. It would get stale, but when you add in everything, especially when you get to change your starting deck, for me, that's probably my favorite module, maybe, just because I love having those different variable starting powers. I think it's cool.
That's the kind of stuff I wish there was more of.
Yeah, sure.
But I like that module as well. So I love the card deck building. I like the dice drafting a lot. The decisions that we're making over the course of the game with the upgrades. The upgrades my board is a really nice touch. I quite enjoy that. But I will say again, after playing, now this doesn't mean I like this game a lot. The sameness to it takes it down just a little notch from what Dean said. Yeah. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Very solid game. I really enjoy it. But I just wish there was a little bit more variability.
I think we both hope that there's going to be expansion.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, that's it. So I'm an 8.5. John gives it an 8. Game we really, really enjoy quite a bit. Tell people how they can get in touch with us.
All right, if you enjoy our videos, it would be a huge help to us if you could subscribe to our channel. Also, we are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That's all at Meepletown Games. We're Board Game Geek Guild 3407. And I've always failed to mention this. We have a podcast.
Oh, we do.
We have a podcast on Google Play and Stitcher and iTunes and all this, and we have a blast. So we actually did this, a full review on our podcast, and we go into a lot more detail, and we make all kinds of crazy nonsense jokes that we find really funny. I'm not sure if the listeners do, but we go for that.
They do. That's going to do it. Thanks for coming down to Meepletown. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild number 3407 at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.